Hello and good day to you. Today's video, we are demonstrating the use of photographic images or image in making a scenery in our digital craft technique of 12 Crafts of Cardmaking. For this project, we'll need digital image, photographic. We'll be using 3 images, merging them together to make one design. Graphic software, I'm using Affinity Photo printer to print the card if you desire. And when we are making the handmade card or demonstrating the handmade card, we'll tell you what you need to make that. I've already opened the software, Affinity Photo. Click on File, Open. Locate your folder where your images are or images. As I said earlier, we'll be using 3 images and I'll pick the first. So this is the first, and to pick the second and third, I'll have to press my Control key down on the keyboard. You can pick them one after the other, but I'll just pick them together. This is the second image, so I'll press the Control key and select it, and you see that it's selected. Then the third image, is this. So press the Control key and click on it. You can see them here in the file name, and then I'll click Open. So now we have it. I'm going to make the card I want to make is an A5 card, or should I make it 8 inches? Okay, I'll make it 8 inches so that it's large. To make it an 8 inches, I'll first of all go to File, New. The type is Print. Page is going to be Custom. Document unit, I'll use inches. Page width, it will be 8, and the height is going to be 8. DPI 300 because we're printing, and then click OK. I won't check include margin because we don't want any margin on it, so I'll just click OK. And here we have this our document, and this is the card we're going to design on. We need the first card we'll use is this. The first image that I'll be using is this cloud where there's a plane in it. So on the layer palette, if you want to, you can just click on the padlock to release the image. Then we can select, if we don't want the black to show, you can select the area you want. Click on the selection tool. Before I go on, let me just say that we are working on photo personnel section of Affinity Photos. Affinity Photo. You can click on the selection tool to select the area you want, but we don't want that, so I'm just going to say select, deselect. I'm just going to say edit, copy. Then we'll move to our document and we'll say edit, paste. I'm going to resize by clicking on the Ctrl key, pressing down the Ctrl key on my keyboard, and dragging the cursor, the handle of this image. Then moving the image to a desired position. And if it's too small, I can resize. We can stay all tightly down. Then look for your, then select the rectangle tool. If you can't see it, if you go to view, custom tools, you will see some of your tools here. You can drag and drop in any one you want to use, and when you finish you can close that so that you have a nice work surface to work with. So I'm just going to use the rectangle tool, drag across the surface, the page, fill it with a color of choice so that you can see. And on the menu tab here, click on arrange, move to back. Drop down menu, click on move to back to move the rectangle to the back. We're going to adjust that rectangle. I'll just make the cloud invisible first so that we can adjust it. Click on the transformation tool, the transformation palette, which is this XFM. The width of this rectangle, we're going to make it a square to match the card or the document. So it's going to be 8. To be 8, then the height 8, x-axis is 0 and y-axis is 0. Now we have a fitting square on the card. So I'll go back to the layer palette and make the background visible. The cloud visible. I'll just check it to make it visible. Put this to the side here. Or just move it. When I need it, I'll bring it. We need to take the second image, and we'll be using this scenery. So I'm just zooming into the image. Is quite large, so once we have to select it and decide which one we want. We can make use of the front or the back. We can make use of the back to add shadows and make use of the front. It depends on what we desire. For this, you will need your stylus. If you can use the mouse, that's good. But to be precise, you will need a stylus and a graphics tablet. Sorry, I didn't mention that earlier. You need a stylus and a graphics tablet. If you can make use of your mouse, that's fine. Click on the selection brush. The mode is add. Width, take a very thin width. So I'm going to take a width of 11 pixels, alright, so that we can go into detail. And we'll zoom in. Release the background of the design of the image. In the layer palette, just click on the padlock to release the background. So we'll start selecting our image. I'm going to select the trees first. Then I'll use the city in front. You can zoom in if you can't see your design. Oh, sorry, I just want to see if okay, I'll deselect and select this area because this tree, I like this trees here, so I'll use this tree first. This tree look nicer, so I'll just go in here. Alternatively, you can just take the image and remove only the clouds. You can use both the image, the full image as you desire. I'm doing this for if in case you want you have about 3 images or 2 images and you want to 2 images and you want to pair them or create a composite that join them together to form a nice scenery or a unique scenery of your choice. So if there's a part of the image that you don't want to be cut out, you select the subtract mode, should be subtract, and you can remove that part. But if you want to add it, let the mode be add, and then you add. I'll concentrate on the area that I truly want. And you can reduce the size of your brushes as you desire. So I have a nice scenery here. I've zoomed it to. Now going to make my brush large, then just drag to the other part that I want to delete. If you have an image like this and you want only the city scenery and along with the trees, you just need to select the city scenery. Then you can divide it, split it into use half for the front or half for the back of the design you're creating. I think that's what we should do instead of coming back here to select the image again. So let's just do it once like that. Okay, we can make use of this one. So I'm going to zoom. Go to view, zoom, and zoom to fit so that I can see the full image. I just need this other image here, so I'll go in there. It's kind of detail, you have to, it might take time, so Okay, we can make use of this one, not to take too much time, because to make it very detailed we have to spend quite some time. So here we have a nice one. Press delete on your keyboard and you see if you like the image that you have. If you don't like it, you can go back to it. Then click on selection, deselect. Here we have we've tubed the image. Activate the image, click on edit, copy the image, and go back to our document 8 inches, and you click on edit and paste. Oh, should be on top. So here we have the image. Alternatively, there's something you can duplicate it. Right click on the layer palette to duplicate the image. On the layer palette, duplicate this tubed image. And then you can move one side, because it's very long, you can large, and the width is quite wide. You can get 2 images from it. So we'll duplicate, we'll make one, we'll duplicate, then we'll put the other one. We can arrange it. You can decide. I think I'll prefer this one here. And let me see. Can even make it 3 and build us a nice scenery from it. I didn't tube this one properly. If there's anyone you didn't tube properly, if you're making the handmade greeting card, you can cut that part off. But if there's anyone you didn't tube properly and you are using it for a project, you can go back later on and tube it. So I'll move this. Let's see. Trying to see if this nice enough for those parts. I want something different. Okay, I think I'll use this one. I'll send this. Oh, sorry, bring to front. I'll bring this one to front. So I'll take this one backward once, then here's one I brought. Okay, then this one will come forward. I can now place this here. Then I don't need to go back and tube it, because it will be as if it's maxing with the cloud. I think that's all right. Okay. Now I need flowers. I want to add some flowers on the background. I'll go to, we have the flowers here, I think. Okay, we'll do same. Take the selection brush. This time I'm going to use let me use 11 too. Width of pixel is 11. Mode, I'm using add. And with the stylus and graphics tablet, stylus and its graphics tablet, I'm just going to select what I don't want. Selection. On the layer palette, I'm just going to click on to release the background of it, the padlock. So click on the padlock to release it. Then I'll press delete and see if I like it. If I don't, I'll go back and do some finishing. So I'll go back. I think that's all right. So I'll deselect it, go to select, deselect, and here we have our image. If you want to check your image to see if it's properly, if you like if there's any stray image, let me go to edit undo first. You can go to refine here and you will see how it is. Before you click on apply, you see if you desire to remove any edge. You can see we have some zigzag edge here. If we desire to remove it, we can remove those edges. If we have any stray image that we didn't delete properly, we didn't clean properly to delete, they will all show. And you can refine them. With this refine selection, you can refine them. And as you see the refine selection on the menu, once you select the tool, you will see the refine selection on the menu here, where it shows you the mode of the brush. That's a brush, that's the tool, the menu for that particular tool you've selected, or the menu for the selected tool. You will see information here, and then you can click on the refine selection. Alternatively, you can go to select and you can say grow or shrink, and if you move it to the left, the slider to the left, it makes it larger. If you want that, it's going to give a kind of border around it. If you move it to the right, it's going to make it smaller. But remember, if you have gone too far and you want to come back, 0 is a pixel, that is a selected pixel. Then from there you can move either to the left or to the right if you desire. So if I want to, I'll just add 1 to this, to the pixel, to this pixel. I'll just make it 1 and I'll click apply. So that is smaller, then I can click delete. Then we might have of 9's edge. Then you click on selection, deselect. Go to edit, copy. We'll come to our image. Okay, here it is. The image, the scenery we are building, and we'll say edit. We'll make sure we're on the topmost layer. We'll say edit, paste. Even if we are not there, we can go to arrange on the menu here. Go to arrange and move to front. Pressing my control key down and dragging the handle of the selected image, that's this flower, I'm going to resize. With the control key, it's going to resize on all sides. Then I can rotate it, rotate the flower the way I want to, and I can arrange my image the way I want it to. Okay, so here we have the flower. I'm going to place the flower here. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. It's time to build our scenery or our composite. I'll duplicate the flower on the layer palette. I'll keep on duplicating the flower and arranging it till it covers the bottom of the scenery. And you can arrange the flower, you can flip it, you can arrange it the way you want it to be. So I'm going to flip horizontally, flip horizontal, and arrange this here. sometimes due to this setting, when you duplicate, it's going to your design might move, the image might move down. So we have a nice flat border here. I'm trying to cover all the gray spaces. Why getting the green out? Because I really love the green. I want the green to come. Let's see. Okay, now we have a nice scenery, so we've built it. You can just print and print like this, and you have a nice picture. But for the card, the kind of card I'm going to make, the handmade card, I just want to arrange it, please. Pardon me, because we need a space. For the kind of card that we're going to make, I'm going to save this first. Close this, close the ones that, so that they don't interfere. I'm going to close. You can save them if you want to in Affinity format, then come back later to adjust them. So I'm going to close them. I don't need them anymore. And we'll first of all save this. So you click on File, Save or Save As. And I'll call this Photographic Scenery. I'll just take one as usual. I'll say Photographic, and I'll put Scenery here, or Scenic card. Let me use Scenic. Photographic Scenic card, and just click on Save. Now we are preparing to print our image. So I'm going to select each flower first and group them. Press the Shift key and select each of the flowers. Anyone that's not there, you have to select them. Okay, I'm going to select again. And you can check, you will know which one you've selected when you check on the layer palette. Group this first one, then I'll come for, I want to know where this and this. Okay, then I'll group them together. Sometimes you might have a block edge and you want, because of how we tube the image, and you may want to omit that by bringing a flower to the top. You are free to do that. Now this rectangle here, this red rectangle, I'm going to duplicate it. I'll duplicate it about 3 times. I'll float fill it with different colors, so that select. So we've duplicated the rectangle and we filled with different colors. Going to duplicate a 4th one too. Just duplicate it here and fill it with another color. Let me use Let me use something pink. Then we'll make some of these images invisible. First, we'll start with the cloud. We'll make the geranium invisible. Sorry, the flowers or geraniums. Then the cities, we'll make them, the buildings, we'll make them invisible. We'll take let's use a pink rectangle, the first one. We'll take the cloud and clip it into the first rectangle. This will help us when we want to print, so that it's the sizes are proportional. Then we'll make the next, we can move this to the back. That's the cloud, we just moved it to the back. The next step is to activate any of the buildings, make it visible. We'll take the purple rectangle and then fill it with white. Resize the rectangle close so that it's a bit close to the image. Resize it from the top so that it's close to the image. Never mind about the bottom, because the card we are going to make, you're just going to fill it in. Then you take the building and clip it into that rectangle. We want it to keep the shape. Oh, we didn't clip it, sorry. Okay, now we've clipped it. It's in that rectangle. You can make that rectangle invisible now, the clipped building, because we want to work with another one so as not to make mistake. Make the second building visible. Take this other rectangle, fill it with white. Take another rectangle, fill it with white. Resize that rectangle that the top of the building is close to the top of building is close to the edge of the rectangle. Resize it from only one side so that it almost meets the top of the building. Then take the building and clip it into that rectangle. Then you can make it invisible. Let's work with the geraniums, and so make the geraniums visible. Then the last rectangle, fill it with white. This is for printing. We'll save this differently. So resize that rectangle. This rectangle you want is for the geraniums. Resize it so that it's close to the top of the flower, the tallest flower. Take the geraniums, the grouped geraniums, and clip it into that rectangle. And now you have a clipped image. If you make everything visible, let's arrange it the way it's supposed to be. You will see white borders around. This is because of printing. And for that, we'll go to File, New, Page precept, type is print, page precept is A4. We can make it landscape or portrait. Let's leave it on portrait, and then you click OK. So here we have the A4 page that we're going to use for printing. Go back to this your Scenic card, click on the cloud, activate the cloud layer, go to edit, copy, come back to this A4 page that you want to use for printing, and you come here and say edit, paste. It's going to paste it. So now this is how it's going to print. This for the 8-inch. This 8-inch now. You go back in there. You pick any of the. You can pick any of these images, but let's try the geranium because it's the clip is smaller. The rectangle is smaller. So we say edit, copy, and then we'll come in here and say edit, paste. We arrange it. So when we print, you trim the white edges off, and you can layer to make the Scenic card when we're doing the handmade greeting card. So now we need another page for the buildings. So I'll go for File, New, same setting, and we'll create a new page, a new document. We come to the Scenic card, we'll select one of the buildings, edit, copy, and come into the new document and say edit, paste. Make sure you arrange it properly. Here we have it with the white border at the base. When we are making the card, we'll trim these white edges off. So come into this one too, the Scenic card. We need a new page for the card because it's already taking a new document for that building because it's already taking half of this. So I'm going to create a new document, same setting, A4, and then we'll come into the Scenic card, we say edit, copy, we'll copy the second building, and we tell it edit, paste, and here we have it. So to make good use of space, because here will be wasted, I'm going to come back into the geraniums, click on edit, copy. I'll come in here and paste. If I want to, I can layer this on to create more dimension. I'll do same here, so that I don't waste my paper when I print. I can save this. We know we've saved as Scenic card before, so I'm going to save it again. File, save as. In layers, I'll just write in layers. We can save this in Affinity format, or we can save it in JPEG. I'll save it. I'll export it in JPEG now. Just say File. Sorry, it's up to File, Export. Whole document, and it's going to be in JPEG. Click on JPEG, whole document. I'll tell it to export. So call it Photographic. Let's see if we can see the okay. Photographic Scenic card A4. Print A4 1. Then I'll save the other one. Go to File, Export, whole document, JPEG selected. Photographic Scenic card, print A4 2. I'll go to the third one, File, Export, and I'll say Photographic Scenic card A4 3. I'm just going to open Photographic. The Scenic card, the original one we did. So here's the one, because we saved before we started making alteration, we're able to save it, make different alteration with it, and save it. So here is our main card. This card we're going to build. We've created a scenery, done a composite to make a scenery, and we'll make this card. But it's going to be in dimensions when we make it in handmade greeting card. So let's go to the work surface and make the handmade greeting card. We are now on the work surface to make the scenery handmade greeting card. And to make our greeting card, we'll need our printable card with our logo. This is in portrait. It's an 8-inch card in portrait. You need contrast paper. We're going to use this to layer the top of the card. If you want to use acetate, it's alright, but I'm not going to use acetate. I'm just going to do it like that. Then you need A4 cardstock or 8-inch cardstock. We just need it to create some dimension. You need scissors because we are going to use our print table. I'm going to trim around the print table, especially this image here, this one, and this one. And if you want to layer, you want to do some decoupage, then you will need foam pads. We'll need a scoreboard because we want to make some lines to create a dimension when we're creating our scenery or our scene. You need liquid glue. Oh, sorry, I forgot it. You need a scoreboard and a scoring tool. So we're using dies to cut a square in the middle because in our design I want to cut a square in the middle, and so that it be as if you're looking into or looking out of a window into a scenery. Okay, so we'll need dies. I'm using the large square dies by Tattered Lace. I'll be using is it 6 and 4, something like that. Yeah. Okay, dies 6 and 4. We need a paper trimmer or guillotine, and lastly we'll need a die cutting machine because we are using dies. Because we are using dies, we need a die cutting machine, and we need cutting plates. This is for the grand caliber. You have to use 3 if you are going to use the Tattered Lace die cutting machine. You have to use 3 of these plates. This is for the grand caliber die cutting machine. You can use any die cutting machine you have. this for the grand caliber. And then if you have to use this 3, you have to use setting 0. It cuts very well. I prefer using it than the main plates that came with the machine. And that also means that if you can't get the main plates that come with this machine, you can get all these are available. They are all, I think they're available for sale on its own, on their own also. Yeah, on it. So you can buy them and use them with your machine. Okay, so what? I have to clear the table now and start. So I'll put this down. And what do we start with? It's not time to die cut, so we'll put those ones down. Just place this to the left. And then we'll start. So we've printed our sheet. This is going to be for the front layering, so I'll put that aside. And this is our card. Okay. So I'll open this first, not to work, because it's on it's a portrait on the vertical. I don't want to work sideways like a landscape when I forgetting that it's portrait. So I have to open it down. And so the first thing we're going to do is to trim around our image. Then we'll layer it. And before we layer, okay, how many layers, we need to decide how many layers you are going to create. So this is going to be the first layer, or we can just glue this straight down. We can glue this straight down onto the card, or we can layer it again. So I prefer gluing this straight down. Then we layer this as if it's coming out of the cloud, and then we layer this. So we'll need our paper trimmer for that too. So just bring in the paper trimmer, put the cards aside, and let's start working with the printable. Just going to trim around those borders. I'm going to trim around this other one. It's about 5.5 centimeters border all around. Not 0.5. Okay. I'm gonna trim this. But for this, Okay, we're going to trim it. If you see, there's a kind of cast shadow here, because if you trim it from here and you place this other flower over it, like if you remember when we're designing, it's going to make this base, you can even make the base black. I would have made it black something, but this is going to cover it. If you trim just where the design is, instead of where this cast shadow is, there's a kind of faint shadow there. If you trim where the design is, just where the design is, this flower, when it comes on the scene, is going to cover this image. So we're going to trim where the cast shadow is, the base. Repeat same for the others. So for this one, let me see, this is going to be on top like so. Can't see where the cast shadow is here. I think I mistakenly placed it right, so I'm just going to trim. Oh, I did it just now. I'm coming. Let's see if I can. Okay, before I do that, let me trim this. I can use this as it's gonna help me to, because I made a mistake in putting that cast. I didn't put the cast shadow, I made it white, and now it's creating a bit of. So this goes on top. Oh, this is for this. It goes down here. This flower comes up and we'll trim around the flower. Then this one comes in here. So I need a place for my cast shadow. Need a place for my cast shadow. So where will I? So what I'll do, I'll just trim the cast shadow large, because then any excess I'll trim it off later on as we design. To remember to edit that, to trim the cast, to add a cast shadow. All right, so I'm going to put, I think, yes, we're going to put this the guillotine aside, the paper trim aside, and then start working. So first, let me do my first layer. Okay, before we put the guillotine aside, let me cut this. Oh, I've just forgotten about that. I'm going to cut the 8-inch. That's I'm working centimeters. That's gonna be okay. My ruler is still here. Let me see. So it's going to be 20 centimeters. Okay, so I'll cut the 20 centimeter out of the cream color card or ivory color. So I'm just going to cut the 20 centimeter. Sorry. So I'm going to place it on 20 centimeters. And on the, make sure it's on 20 again. So we have a 20 centimeters. Put that aside and then we'll bring in our scoreboard. So now we have a 20 centimeter cut. It's going to go, we're going to create dimension. And since we've decided it's going to go in front first, and then this is going to be the second and third layer. We can decide the dimension we want and then this is going to be the fourth layer. Let's not forget about that. Yes, fourth layer. And if we want to create another one, that's good. We can make this a fifth layer. It's going to just be at the bottom. Let's create 5 and we can make up with 4 if we want. So we'll create 3, that's 4. Since this is going to be down, okay. So I'm using the centimeter side. I'm going to, first of all, this is 20, I'm going to score this on the 10 centimeter group. And we're going to, fold it, sorry. I'm not supposed to fold until I score on the other side. But I have one. And you can trim if you want. So I'm going to trim. Use my paper trimmer. You can also, before you even score, you can even, I won't have scored. That's true, I won't have scored out. Just trim, put it on 10, and then trim it on 10 centimeters. Because it's 20 centimeters, right? So let's trim on 10. So now we have two flaps 10 centimeters. I'm going to put this aside. Then we're going to score. We set up 4. So we can take 2.5. Wait. Oh no. We need 4 mountains or 4 valleys. So I'm not good in mathematics. I'll just start scoring. I was going to. Let me make don't worry, let me use my rough one first. I use the rough one I have. I'm just going to score 4 random lines, okay? I just want to know how many lines I'm to score. Sorry, I didn't plan this ahead. Okay, so 1, 2, okay. Let's cut the other ones off. So we're trying to make a mountain and valley fold. Then we'll place it on the side of, we'll place it on the card and we'll use it to create dimension. Okay. So that's what we're trying to do. So make 1, since we need about 4, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll place it on the first fold to score. Then we'll place this on the second. So let's build together, let's design together, right? Okay. And place it on the third, and place it on the fourth, and we can place this on the 5th before if we want to layer again, we can place that. So I'm thinking, so that gives 4 valley fold, 4 mountain fold, right? Okay. So now we have to divide that between, it's going to be of this length. What I'm going to do, since I'm not a good mathematician, I'm just going to score on every centimeters. That's what I'm going to do now. Oh, this is it. So I'll just flip vertically and score on the other side so that I grasp that ease of folding and score folding it in a nice crease. So we have it now. We have it folded. If it's not the same, we can put more pressure and do it. Be careful not to tear your card. So we have 1, And I'm going to place the other one and score on every centimeter. On every centimeter groove. That's the whole number, the centimeter in whole numbers. And I'll flip vertically and score on that same groove. Okay. Now we put that cover to one side, and then we'll fold. We'll have the ease of folding because we did a double score. I'm just going to be fast folding and creasing. It's like a fan. Like when I was making fan when I was young. Paper fan, yeah. Okay. Now let's do the other one. This card I'm using is 300 grams. Is it 300 or 350? That's why I have to do those double. That's why I do the double score to really break the fibers in the card. You can see it's taking more strength to fold. $300 grams, yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry, we don't need the board anymore. It, okay. So, I'm going to glue this first. Decide which one we want down. So remember, the card is 10 centimeters. This flap is 10 centimeters on the. That's 20 centimeters cut into 10 by 10 centimeters, cut in half to make 10 centimeters, and we score them on each. Just trying to put glue on both sides. Spread each of the glue. Okay. So I'm going to put glue with this here. This is how we're going to build our scene. Do we need to go closer? Okay, I think this is enough. So this is how we're going to build our scene. We've made our layers, doing a mountain and valley fold. So I'm going to put this at the base, on the background, because we need to put our clouds. to put some dots. And here we have our cloud with, you can see the plane. It's a cloud that's now I took with my pictures. Oh, sorry, a cloud I took with my camera. I was snapping planes when we were doing it. The 30 planes, 30 days with planes. Okay. So now we have that. Zipping. Reprinted. Wow, nice cloud. So the next layer we're going to do is this. I'm going to trim. I'm not trimming the top because we can decide which one we want. Okay, yeah, okay. I need to trim a little from it. This is the one I didn't I forgot to put the cast shadow. Yes, where we're going to trim. So, but now let me just take some of the edges. So with the scissors, I'm just going to go in and trim around the upper edge to be as if it's in the cloud. That they are in the clouds. By the time we glue them down. You really don't need white edges in this. But you can also add, it will be like a silver lining. Remember, you are the designer. Okay, so we have to place this on the side where we're going to place it, and we'll trim off the excess. So I think I'll just go on this. Let me give a crease here and trim that. So we trimmed that. We're just going to place this in. Put the glue, a thin layer of glue towards the edge. Oh. Towards the edge. You don't need to glue the top or the bottom, because we want that dimension. So we're going to take this next layer here, this next the second one here, I'm going to place it from the bottom. Place it in, make sure it's properly glued. Then we'll bring in the other side and we'll place that one. Trying to, okay, yes, can help us. All right, so just place it. So I'm going to cut the second layer. Now you can see that we're trying to create dimension. Okay, let me be fast about this one. I think this one is quite easy. You can decide to trim off any one that is being too difficult. So I just trim. Go in here, trim. And this tiny one here is going to go in there and do the trimming. So here we have it. Have to be careful. And then we'll place this. Okay, I have not trimmed. I need to trim this off. This edge. And do the same for the second. So place this one down and then do. Thin edge of glue. Thin edge of glue and we'll layer. Okay, now each of them is, let's use this, then we'll use the other one to create a decoupage. Some people are very good with the craft knife and they can go around the images with the X-Acto knife or craft knife. Some are very good with the scissors. So, if it's ready for the demonstration, I think I would have used a digital cutter to do this job. Okay, so we have, I'm going to trim this edge off because we don't need this edge. And yes, we're just trying it before I put the glue. No. If you want to decoupage, you have to place your you have to make sure you do your design before you glue down. Now I've made a mistake. I was planning on doing some decoupage. I think I'm going to make that now. I can still do it. Just a few flowers here. So keep this one aside and use from this. Just going to trim around some of the images here and use those ones to create dimension. So I'm going to use this to create just a little dimension for the flowers, and you can coil it. If you want to go into one or the other flower little by little, you can do that. You can use so here's the foam part. So the foam parts now, I'm going to place them at the back. Maybe here, like so. So I'm going to place them at the back. But I won't place them on top, so just sorry, at the back and close to the base. Now just try and layer it. Okay, so here we have our card in dimension. You can see it. Okay, now we need to make a cover for the card. So let's make a cover. But before that, let's just go close and see what we have done. So let's make the cover for the card to cover the surface. And with that, we'll need the die. So let me just use the opportunity to clean my work surface while you admire the card. Or while you're admiring the card. And take my guillotine off because we need to work with dies now. Okay, here we have so here is our die cutting machine. The setting is on 0. I'm just going to show you. The setting is on 0 because of the 3 using. The first thing I was supposed to trim this. Oh, I forgot again. No. Okay. Let me just do that. Paper trimmer. We need to trim it so that it matches the front of the. We want it to match the front of the card. So I'm going to make this 8 inches. That's 20 centimeters. I think that's the actual measurements again. By 20. So we have it on 20 by 20, and I have a contrast one here. I'm going to do same. We'll bring the paper trimmer when we need it because I want to cut a thin strip. Let me see. I just want to cut a thin strip. But when we need it, we'll bring it back. Let's take it step by step, not to cause confusion. So here we have it. I'm going to put this aside because I'll use this one for just and I'm going to flip my board. instead of cutting on the pink is just going to act as it's just going to help me to create just to add height. So just going to place the die. You can use this other one as a guide to see, but I don't think we need that. Just going to place the die and then we'll cut. Setting on 0. We'll bring our card back, take this, we don't need it anymore, and we'll keep this for another card. So with our liquid glue, just going to put some dots on this last tab here. So we've added glue on this tab here, last tab, and then we're going to glue. It's supposed to be 1 centimeter at the edge. You remember when we are scoring 1 centimeter. But if you can get a nice border, it's also nice. It's great if you can put a nice border. If you have less than 1 centimeter at the edge, it's going to give you a nice border there. So here's our card. Can create the scenery. And if you go closer, because of the dimension, you can see dimension being created. Thanks for joining me for this video of 12 crafts of card making, the technique of digital craft, a focus on photographic card, used as a scenery design or scenic design in this project. You can visit the blog anino.ogunjobi.com to keep up with what's happening in the crafting industry. Until then, happy crafting. Remain blessed.